everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we are here taking a look at a Patreon request. Shout out to Health You for this request, and this one is going to be Hanbin and Matthew, their intra-performance dance practice. I believe it's for the Golden Discs. Now, because any kind of award show we look at, it's going to get blocked. When it's a dance practice, we're kind of just going to look at it here, enjoy it for what it is, so it can make its way onto YouTube, no problem. So I'm excited for this. I hope you are too. Let's go. Zero bass, one more. Cute. Nice. Little traces were fun there. That was cute. That was a fun little moment there. That was cool. Okay. I love the humor at the end with the trace down. Okay, from the top. So I enjoyed this. Definitely more on like a contemporary nuance side of things, more flow, way more flow than what I was expecting, which I find to be really fun. Now, my expectation, I know with Hanbin, heavy influence in his movement quality to arm control, right? I know he was in Spella's crew, so I was most likely expecting something like that, but I really like the surprise. So from here, they start with a nice little body roll, and they're connected. It's good that they understand how far they can go in range to be equal with each other as they go and lean out, because if one overshoots the other, that can cause a weight shift as well. Notice with Hanbin, I'm assuming this is Matthew, Hanbin, the ball of his feet is what's catering a lot of his weight here as well. That helps him stay not grounded, it's kind of the opposite. It helps him be able to lift it up to the top without allowing the weight or the energy of it to press over too far. Then from there they took it and then they retracted it. So that was really nice to see there. Then from there they took it, boom, and then they ended up taking the heads and rotating them around. So from the fixed cam perspective, it looks really cool. I do know with like Golden Disc or with Mamas or other award shows, how it's shot also matters a lot. So part of me really does wish that award shows weren't so stingy on their footage, or we'd be able to appreciate them so much more. But all this just from a fixed cam, we can just treat it like a fan that's personally there getting to experience it, right? So I like how they take the arms. I think they ended up doing like a subtle trace, didn't they? Yeah, I think that's what that was. I'm up rotating it through. Little trace is nice, and they take the arms and they fold them from one side to the other, which is nice. Then they do a nice little reach. Notice that they let the chin also lead with that. Looks great. Then the reach around is also nice to see there. Then they end up taking in a little chassé moment, little ball change moment to have it cause the body to rotate all the way to the other side. They flip it through, boom, they flip to face each other, then they use that as a fun rotation, boom, to whip around, and then you have a bass, boom. I really love that, boom, boom, high-low, which is also nice to see. Then you have this, the crash in the music. So I just like how they were choosing to go rotational in the transition. It looks really nice. So I like how you have Hanbin throw that arm, and then the hinge also looks really nice there too. The pull, da-da-da-dum, shoulders, and then we do a nice little lift up with the arms. They bring it down, da-da-da-dum, and then we take our energy, and then we end up pressing, which is also nice to see there. Then they do a sweep with a trace to also look nice. They take the arms up, boom, I like the chest, and we push to retract, taking it down. And I love this, the legato on this, the flow of it. It's really nice from Matthew here, and I like how they complement it there. You have Hanbin take his arm and brush it across to make it look like he's controlling Matthew. Matthew lifts his arm up. We nice and connect on that wrist, and then he throws it on the crash. Really nice. So we're making connections. So good for Hanbin for knowing how far he needs to go, so Matthew can have a full extension of grabbing him without being too close or too far, because then he may not be able to grab where he needs to for the next moment. I will say what I find interesting here, it could just be vantage point, camera shot. I don't know what's going on with his hips. Normally when you're doing an arabesque is kind of what I would give this. If we're going off of that realm of things, it doesn't feel like we're squaring our hips. And what I mean by squaring hips is your hips are in proper alignment for the extension that you're going for. So when you're doing a back arabesque like that, there's like, is that third? Hold on. It looks like it's first arabesque, and so that's based on what his arms are. If the arms are out, that would be first. Second would be this arm is across, and this arm is behind him. And third would be, hold on, this makes no sense. Okay, so what are you talking about? Like arabesque is that leg. The leg is the same, right? So the square hips is still my note. But if you wanted to know the difference between first, second, and third arabesque, when you hear people talk about it, first would be this arm's open and open. Second would be this arm is across and this arm is in the back. So it's the opposite. And then third arabesque would be like making a little V with both arms, right? So you'd have this arm here go up and then this arm would go down. So now you know. But yeah, I'm assuming this is a first arabesque with some contemporary nuances here, right? Until I'm told otherwise. And that's okay if I'm a little off, that's fine. But also, if you look at his feet, you want to make sure it's turned out as well. It looks like it's turned in. His hips are catering to that as well. So that would just be my note here. This could look a lot like it gives a different look, and it could be more refined in the position. But for the fact that he came from the ground into it, good for him. And it's literally for like 1 second. So the fact that I just have it paused was circumstantial, right? Not a big deal at the end of the day, but just a note if he really wanted to work on his ballet fundamentals. So the drop down was nice. I love that boom with the bass to kind of reset that energy low. I like the expansion of the chest up and around, which is nice. I like the barrel jump out of that too, really fun. And then they take the arms, they place them down, and then they use the pull of the hands to kind of make it look like the hands are triggering the body to want to get closer. So that's really cool. They reset that hand to the outside. They take the opposite one, they pull it, which is nice. And then they take the arms up. They're using I don't know if we're using them to like heel tap or anything. I don't think so. Just to create openness with the body, and then they contract it in, facing away from each other. So I like the commitment that they have here. They end up doing a nice little port-de-bras with one arm going high and then one draping low. Looks nice. I like the mirroring of that. Then I like how they do the switch up of the hands, nice and connected. They rotate the arms around, which is also nice. So they're covering a lot of ground. Staging is really fun for a duet. They had some levels represented. We like it. The reach was also nice too. The runs there, we could have really went for it, but I also know we're trying to do it on a tripod, so you want to know your range too. Range meaning like how much space is going to be seen on camera. You don't want to like go out of shot for certain things. So I understand that could be a thing. Also stage logistics. If the stage is smaller, you don't want to go super far. That's going to make you go off into the pit. That's a bad thing, right? So I get it. The drop low, I do think Matthew could have dropped a little bit lower, but if we're going individualized, they did good there. It's fine. If they were just trying to look like the exact same would be my note. So we walk. So he ends up doing a trace. I don't know if he was supposed to hover it, right? So like a hover and then a trace, or like he's actually supposed to trace down the arm and then cut to the base of the thigh. You know, either way, it gives an outline perspective. His reach is fun, and he ends up tracing down. Honestly, it looks like a pat down at TSA. That's funny. Maybe that's why we smiled. I don't know. And then he dressed down nice and low. We do a switch off on the legs. It's like he's falling in space. It does look like we're going for that painting, right? It's like God's hand or whatever's hand, and then like man, like Adam. I don't know what that painting's called, but you know what I'm talking about, the touch one? That's what that felt like here. So maybe we're going for that. We grab, pull them up, and then they end up going up, and then we speed change, tone set to most likely the next routine or track that was supposed to happen after intro. So in a nutshell, I really liked this. It was nice to be able to explore a different genre, more of like a studio style influenced nuance of choreography. That's really nice. We normally cover street dance here, which I love. Do not get me wrong. That's what I do in my day to day. But as somebody who works in studios, I'm very familiar with this movement quality because I have to teach dancers with this movement quality, and I choreograph for it as well. So it's been really fun to kind of check in, see how they would approach it, and also give some notes on how they could be more practical with it to feel a little bit more natural and authentic in their technique. So this was nice. Thank you so much, Health You, for hopefully I'm saying your name right, for the request. I enjoyed this a lot.